Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for staying by and welcome to Vyom Labs webinar series on Remedy 9. The webinar in this series is new key features that you must know of Remedy 9. I am Sneha Sinha from Vyom Labs. Let me give you a brief description about Vyom Labs. We are founded in 2003 and we specialize in BMC product implementation and support. We have helped many BMC partners and customers across 6 continents in their BMC projects. Today, Vishal Dhainje, our senior consultant at Vyom Labs, will take us through new key features that you must know of Remedy 9 webinar. He brings in over 11 plus years of diverse experience in Remedy and BMC BSM technologies, and he is an ITIL expert. Jury who will answer the questions include Prashant Deshpande, EVP Global Project Deliveries, Sunil Patil, Senior Consultant, Vishal Dhainje, Senior Consultant, Amol Vadekar, Lead Consultant. Before signing off, we will have a question and answer session which will be for 15 minutes. Tweet your questions in advance, starting with hashtag Remedy9UpgradeTab. Our jury will take them live. You can also type your questions and go to meeting chat window while the webinar is going on. If time does not permit, then the jury will reply to your queries via emails or tweets. I'll turn it over to you, Vishal.
Thank you, Sneha. So let me walk you through the agenda for today. We'll start with the business drivers and followed with the key enhancements in Remedy 9, why and how to use these features. We have our follow-up webinars which will cover the enhancements for the ITSM. This session is based on the key enhancements in Remedy 9. So beginning with the key enhancements, in the very first session, of the start of the session, we have smart reporting, where I will be walking through the features of the smart reporting, and we'll have a demo about how to create a smart report with a few clicks, followed by a RESTful APIs enhancements, Atrium CMDB CDM denormalization, which has been introduced as a new feature for Remedy 9, and what value it brings to the platform we are going to describe in detail, followed with the centralized configurations. About the earlier versions had decentralized configurations for AR monitor, AR config file, plugin XML files. So we are going to talk about them in more detail, followed with enhancements to Developer Studio, where there are new utilities which have been introduced for Developer Studio, mid-tier enhancements, how the multi-tenancy and onboarding features are available with the mid-tier, deployment application, how does it work, and FTS followed with archiving features. With these key enhancements covered during the session, our last segment would cover up the question and answer session, where our expert panelists will be available for the live question and answers. So let us begin with the business drivers. So what are the business drivers for Remedy 9? Primarily, the 7604 full support is out of support, which acts as a business drivers for Remedy 9 implementations and upgrades. Also, the Remedy 9 new features are business drivers for this Remedy 9. With Remedy 9, it is a revolution to IT service management. It is now more smart, it is beautiful and powerful service management that empowers the digital workforce. It gives you a powerful insight, analytics, increases your productivity, and helps the service desk with the amazing user experience. So why we say it is smart, it is powerful, is because it has an amazing service, which was a challenge for the enterprise IT earlier. It uses a fully mobile, and it supports the native app iOS and Android and HTML files for the browser access. So it helps you to search the knowledge articles. You can work as a change manager or a service desk from anywhere. It provides you intuitive tools and is context aware and location aware. And it does have embedded ITIL in this release, and it gives you standard reports and KPIs so that you can start delivering value immediately. It is a persona based, and it's simple to use, quick to learn, which has in-app analytics, which we are going to go in more detail and talk about, also the social and the collaborative features of Remedy 9. So let's begin with the smart reporting enhancement which is done for Remedy 9 platform. So the base architecture is Yellowfins, which is integrated with the BMC Remedy 9 and is available with this release for smart reporting. We are going to cover the business value for smart reporting, the operational reporting and the KPI reporting, followed with the storyboard and discussion features and in-app reporting demo where we'll see how to create a smart report with a few clicks. The business value that smart reporting brings is, as compared to the earlier reporting tools, it were complex and it required the developer's knowledge to create certain reports. It required the client tools such as BERT and other client tools to generate the reports. There were challenges such as cross-application reporting was not available out of the box, and most reporting actions required the admin or the ops effort to generate simple reports. With Remedy 9 and its rich data visualization, interactive charting, it brings value to the business where you increase your productivity by 75%, not only through reporting, but also it gives you a platform for discussions and taking corrective actions, which ultimately increases your productivity. BMC Smart Reporting provides easy to use reporting solutions and its user-friendly semantic layer to access the data defined in business terminology, displaying the form field names without having the knowledge of underlying database structure. So this is a great enrichment which has been done with Remedy 9 solution. Smart reporting is completely web-based solution and no client installation is required. It is a part of the platform installer and the launch link is available from the Remedy console itself. This is the in-app reporting which includes the rich data visualization with 40 different charting options and more than 90 plus out of the box reports, KPIs and dashboards are included as a part of the solution. It's mobile enabled and it does support the social and the collaborative capabilities where these could act as the drivers for decision making using the solutions. The annotations and the comments for the reporting is a feature which we are going to see more in detail as we progress through the session. It has the ability to create discussion groups and related to specific reports. Let's proceed with the smart reporting person's role that would be usually involved in any organization. So reporting persons, we have put up a scenario where there are 3 different roles within an organization and what is their operational requirement for reporting as well as what are their challenges for reporting. So we have 3 roles for a scenario where we have considered a service desk manager, Bob, who is responsible for setting up goals for the organization and measure them with the outage response time, the CSATs, and the support qualities. So if Bob wants to pull out certain reports, how smart reporting is going to benefit him is what we are going to see. As compared to the out-of-the-box reports, it is now easy to generate custom reports with a few clicks. We have another role where Mary is a reporting analyst and her job responsibilities include configuring the reporting solution, publishing the content, and managing the semantic view. And let's say there's a process owner, Ajay, who has easy access to the dashboard and is responsible for an entire process, for example, incident management or change management as a process. And he tracks the continuous service improvement and the CSI cycles and then generates the mission statements for the improvement for the process. So while these roles are in continuation with the same goal of improving the service management experience, the smart reporting, it has its individual goals which are complementing the goals of the individual roles within the organization. The self-service reporting has a drag and drop user interface where everything is on the web. So Bob can easily create new dashboards and reports through the intuitive web-based drag and drop interface. He could optionally use the out-of-the-box reports and the dashboards that are provided for the most commonly used reports by BMC Remedy Smart Reporting. And it has a mobile enabled, as I said earlier, with the KPIs and the collaborative and social features where alerts and discussions, threads, broadcasting reports, and storyboards and reporting annotations are available. So with these features, the value that it brings by the smart reporting capabilities is the 75% productivity is increased, and engaging the complete team from various verticals and the IT service management areas, and embrace the digital transformation by focus is not only on fulfilling the daily reporting needs of lower or middle management, but it is also to suffice the need to the data in smaller time range where, for example, it could be show me today's or a week's open tickets. So these type of reports could be fetched from the smart reporting. It also provides data at the lowest grain. For example, not only the process overview, but the ticket details, the task details, the team members details, and so on. So it helps to manage these data reporting by using the forms and the AR systems fields. So the KPI reporting, its focus is on fulfilling the reporting needs to the top management and executives like the CEOs or CTOs, and provide aggregated data on longer duration of time. Example, it could be a monthly trend of tickets submitted in the last 2 years, or it could be a quarterly trend, or it could be driven by certain mission statements. It not only provides data at the fixed grain, but also manages the reporting by using the flashboard features of Remedy 9. Let's discuss more about the dashboards and the discussions. So the dashboards involve the business users, where we are going to elaborate a particular business case over here, and this business case is focused on how a particular scenario can be addressed through the smart reporting. The example that I'm using in this session is related to the service level targets. Let's say that the organization has a service level target of 95% SLAs should be met in a quarter. With this goal, how smart reporting is helping is the smart reporting helps you to set up this goal and fetch the report in order to understand proactively how you are progressing for your SLA targets. While let's assume that in the quarter the first month has passed and the report is fetched with the in-app and the KPI reporting capabilities of smart reporting, and this report helps us to understand that there are few SLAs which have been breached for certain incident tickets. Now we still have a bandwidth of few months and proactive actions can be taken. In order to take the proactive actions, a drill down is required for the report which has been generated for a month. This drill down option is available with smart reporting by clicking on the metric reports. It also gives you detail up to a millisecond record which has been processed, and these type of records are useful for the CMDB analysis. If you drill down to the metric report, you can further have a detailed breakup in order to understand the respective incidents that have been logged for the particular month and try to understand the trend that is involved for the peak hours. So based on the detailed breakup, you can further go ahead with problem identification, and if the problem identification process is completed or is unidentified, you can then further drill down to the lowest grain by adding the annotations. So annotations, it means you are taking a subset of the report which is generated and you are doing a brainstorming in order to understand how to take corrective actions. So these brainstormings exercise are conducted by using the smart reporting console itself, by using the in-context online discussion feature available within smart reporting. During this discussion, you can compare, verify, and check the trends that are available with the annotations. Based on these artifacts, you can then have corrective actions which will be generated, and it will enable you to take decision so that your SLAs for the quarter are achieved with 95% SLAs being met. So this process helps you to engage the specialist to help resolve a faster trend analysis, or you can have meaningful conversations about the data or the reports by chatting with your team members, which will help in a faster decision making. So it is designed with a high level reports that could be drilled down to more detail as and when required. The tab feature also allows you to search your public repositories if you are having, or any internal repositories if you are having as a knowledge base, for enabling the reports and adding them to the selected tab, or grant access to the pre-built public tabs. We are going to see this feature in the demo, where there is a access control mechanism provided for the reports, where it could be a public report or it could be a report which is entitled for a specific group of people. With the dashboard and discussion feature, let's move on to the next feature of smart reporting, which is a storyboard. So storyboard feature, it provides the presentation oriented user interface as compared to the artifact data. It provides an interface where the smart reporting allows users to create the slideshows with fully functional reports, which will include the images or any videos or a particular text content for supporting your smart reporting presentations. It signifies a new paradigm for information sharing in a very familiar format that complements and assists the natural business collaborative decision-making environment, along with enabling a wider community of people with non-data centric background to have the advantage and the benefit from the insights of the BI. So it is useful for information sharing and decision making. With the storyboard feature, what we are highlighting over here is, in an organization, usually the data analyst group of people is a smaller group of people, and the storyboard users is a larger subset of the users who would be fetching the reports as on demand basis to understand and to pass on the information to take corrective or decisions in their respective verticals. Let's proceed with a tool demo to understand the smart reporting feature and how it could be achieved. So we have access to the BMC Remedy console, and we'll take you through the demo. So this is the Remedy console, which has a link for smart reporting on the home page, and we'll be navigating through the smart reporting console, which will help us to understand about how to generate these reports with a few clicks. So in this webinar, we will see how the drill down reports are used within smart reporting, and how the filters could be added, and adding charts to it. So the features that we are going to talk about is the landing console of smart reporting involves the dashboards. It involves the various ITSM modules that are available for the dashboard, such as CMDB dashboard, incident, problem, change. Also, there is a provision to add the SLM dashboards if you want to make it visible within your dashboard console. So let's walk us through the first scenario, where Bob Baxter is the service desk manager and wants to create a report to review the incident backlog, so that he can track the team's progress from time to time, and he wants to create a report to view the incidents for each assigned support company that will drill down to allow the check the status of the tickets by priority for each assignee who is working on the incident ticket. So on the reporting console, Bob does select the create option as I'm navigating through the console, and he selects report option. On the create report screen, he selects the drag and drop method, which is currently the only method for creating reports using smart reporting. From the lower half of the screen on the list, BMC Remedy AR system data connection, he will select the incident management view. On the top of the report builder page, as it will be displayed, Bob sees that there are different steps for the reporting building process, which includes the data, which includes the charts and the outputs. So starting the report building process at the data phase, the left panel displays the list of available fields in the folder structure to add the reports. In the middle panel, the different options are available to analyze the data by having the default drill down option, which is selected from the analysis style section. He can select other options as well on the analysis need. Drag and drop, by using the drag and drop, we are going to select the assigned support company field to the columns section and also add count number of incidents aggregated field to it, followed with the drag priority field to the row section so that he adds the fields to the column section with the sample data which is getting displayed. This gives him a preview of what the data he will look like. If the data volume is too large, he scrolls down and turns off the auto refresh action, which is selected by default. Generating the preview of the large volume of data may impact the report designing experience. So Bob adds the status field to the filtering section so that he can filter the report based on the incident status. By clicking the advanced settings, there is a link to define the filter criteria. On the configure filter page drop down, it lists the different operators that he can select in the in list. To define any static filter, he can click on the defined value and select the user prompt radio box to filter the data based on the dynamic value selection. Close the filter page and move to the chart phase of the reports, where it will give you multiple options available for the chart. From the select chart type, he selects the stacked vertical option. Then from the reports field, he drags the assigned support company to the horizontal axis and the count number of incidents to the vertical axis. The priority field will be dragged to the color section to see the incident count bifurcation by priority. A report chart will be displayed on the screen as you see, and this helps in selecting the custom from the title contents by selecting the title icon from the timelines. Bob can then click the output option to design the layout of the report, and there are multiple formatting options which are available for the charts. So right now I am just adding a title to the report, and we'll be progressing on how to save this report and how to update the report settings by providing the name of the report and selecting the category under which the report will be saved and defining the rights for it, where the entitlement comes into picture for the public or the private access. So I'm selecting a filtering criteria for the status to generate the output screen, which is prompted by a status filter, and Bob can now select any of the values from the status fields and generate a report for all open incidents. So the output that would be generated gives a detail about incidents by assignment. So this was a quick demo on how to create reports using a few clicks with smart reporting. Right now I'm just saving this report so that it can be reused at a later stage, and it can be displayed for publicly or privately depending upon the access control that I'm setting and the operational reporting type that I'm selecting to make it fall into a particular category. After this, I need to activate the report so that this report will be added to the dashboard. With this, we'll move to our next segment where we are going to talk about the in-app reporting. After the in-app reporting, we are going to talk about the REST APIs and the representational, which is the representational state transfer APIs being introduced with the Remedy 9. So Remedy 9 is now 100% Java, and it is a powerful platform which will be more efficient in a heterogeneous environment to integrate with multiple tools that are using REST APIs. For example, in organizations, there could be a integration with BMC Remedy ITSM suite with the monitoring solutions which are non-BMC products. Say for example, Manage Engine, where it uses the REST APIs, and with Remedy 9, this integrations can be seamless. It can be at a very faster intervals, could be achieved through greater visibility, and with the API, it can be more effective. So the AR system server uses the JavaScript object notation, which is a JSON format, to transmit the data between a server and a web application. The JSON parses the provided serialization and deserialization method that makes your encoding and decoding of the messages easier. This is an advantage with the earlier release of Remedy, where web services were a limitation, and there were challenges for web services such as arrays were complicated to be used, or multiple forms could not be accessed through a single protocol. So this REST APIs uses the HTTP protocol and a stateless architecture. BMC recommends to use the secure socket layer while you are using the Jetty as a web server. So Remedy AR system is integrated with Jetty as a web server to service the REST API request, and BMC recommends to have SSL certificates with the Jetty to service the REST API request. The root URL path for the REST API is as displayed on the screen: local HTTPS, localhost, your port, and followed with the namespace and the version. So namespace for AR system is ARSys, and the version is version 1 starting with Remedy 9. Followed with this URL, it will be further added to include the parameters such as forms, or include the parameters such as fields, and then it supports the CRUD operations where it has the ability to create the records, to update or merge the records, to delete the records, and to fetch the records, where the read operations can be performed through the post, get, and other methods that are available within REST APIs. So it is more commonly the CRUD operations that are support with this REST APIs, and this is a big advantage, and that's the beauty of Remedy 9, that the platform is 100% Java, and the integrations now can be more easier as compared to the earlier releases. Moving on with our next key enhancement that has been done for Remedy 9 is Atrium CMDB CDM denormalization, which is also termed as denormalized DCDS, denormalized CDM data storage. So let us understand what is the need of denormalization, and how does the denormalization address the challenges related to performance, and how can you achieve the performance challenges and overcome these challenges through denormalization. So in the earlier releases or in most of the client environments where the CMDB is very matured and it has a huge chunk of data, what happens is the performance of the CDM is degraded with the volume of data which is available within the CDM. So the amount of CIs which are configured in the Atrium CMDB, it is increasing day by day, and this increased amount of data affects the performance of the different components of the Atrium core ecosystem, while also leading to performance issues for the producers and the consumers of your CI data, such as it could be any discovery tools, or it could be consumers such as incident, change, asset, all these processes. So to address these performance issues, you need to minimize the number of tables or the forms in which the different but related pieces of CI data are stored. So this can be accomplished by using the denormalization concept, where denormalization addresses the challenge with converting the regular classes to the categorization classes. So in the earlier case, if you want to create an instance for BMC product, that instance is created with an insert or update call to the BMC product class, and then with the BMC logical component class, and the last stage is where the BMC base element regular class, the instance is added. So it takes a time in creating a record into the base element. With the denormalized CDM concept, now you can create an instance directly to the base element, and the BMC product and BMC logical system classes can be converted into the categorization classes, which helps to have a single call for an insert or an update operation. So the fields corresponding to these attributes for the categorizations classes are moved to the BMC base element, and the base element now has the all the attributes related to the BMC product or BMC logical system component classes. Like we are seeing this example for the base element, similarly for your relationship classes, there could be a relationship class. For instance, it is a BMC component relationship class, which is a regular class. If there is a instance which is created for your BMC component class, then the next call is to your base element in the prior versions. With the denormalization concept, your BMC component class can now be a categorization class, and the instance can be directly created with a single call to your base relationship, BMC base relationship regular class. So this is adding a great value to your CDM model and the overall performance of the platform as well. Let us understand the next key feature with Remedy 9. So with Remedy 9, BMC has introduced the centralized configuration. Prior to these releases, the AR system components used to store their configuration data in the separate files, which would act as an additional effort for the developers or the QA team to perform the deployments and to carry forward these configurations to the test beds or to the live production environments. With the centralized configuration data, the AR system server and the BMC approval server initially was stored in the AR config file, with mid-tier was stored in a different config properties file. The data for email engine was stored in the email daemon properties file. Likewise, there was different path for plugin server XML files. With the configuration data being dispersed across the file, it was difficult to share the data across the servers or to backup or to restore the data. So starting with this release, the configuration data is stored in the new centralized forms of Remedy and is reflected in the AR configuration file as well as a backward compatibility. So the centralized configuration not only makes your configuration data easier to manage, but it also makes it easy to share the settings, the configuration settings across the servers in a server group. Or it could be your dev server or your test beds. Also, because the configuration data is stored directly in the database, it is now more secure, and it involves the configuration such as AR system server, the mid-tier server, the approval server, email engine, Java plugin. All these configurations are now at a central location, and you can continue to change the configuration settings for the following components by using the listed form or the tools such as AR system server or approval server. You can access the AP admin server settings form, or for mid-tier you can go through the configuration tool. Also, it generates and alerts if there are any configuration changes that have been made. So it, after every 5-second delay, if there is any configuration change with a 5-second delay, it will send you a notification in order to understand if there are any changes that have been made to the centralized configuration form. So it is now easier to update your configuration by using the console interface, which is provided as AR system configuration generic user interface form. With this value added feature, let's move on to our next key feature, which talks about the key enhancements to the Developer Studio, the mid-tier, the deployment application, the FTS, and the archiving. So with Developer Studio, there are new utilities which have been introduced. The very first one that we are going to walk through in this session is the snapshot utility, where as compared to 8.1 Developer Studio, it was not having this snapshot utility. With the Remedy 9 release, the snapshot utility is available along with the Developer Studio, and it also gives you an option for comparing with your snapshots. So with this capture utility, the value that it brings to the platform is it helps you to capture your entire server objects, which not only includes your forms, fields, workflows, but also related data that is available on the server for the objects. So with the Developer Studio, reconciliation is another key enhancement that has been performed for the Remedy 9 platform. This is termed as a three-way reconciliation and is a new feature of Remedy 9. It allows you to reconcile your changes by comparing your existing definitions, your overlay definitions, and new definitions of the objects. For example, after upgrading your AR system server, the staging server, you can reconcile your overlays from the reference server so that your customizations are not lost and you can use the latest features that BMC provides as the best practices workflows. With the Remedy 9 release, the code has also been reduced drastically from the workflow perspective for Remedy 9. So the performance has been improved drastically with this release. So you can copy and merge through the three-way reconciliation the changes from the new definition to your previously overlay definitions. The Developer Studio now allows you to compare your old base definition with the new definition and the overlay definition. It gives you a comparison result as is displayed on the screen, and you can copy these changes from your new definition to your overlay definition. Only the override type of the overlay is used for this comparison, and the best practice is you can use reconciliation for your customization using a single instance of Developer Studio across multiple servers. In multiple administrators can perform the reconciliation. They can enable the object reservation, which is a great advantage where multiple developers would be able to do a parallel work, and they can access the servers to ensure that the object is not modified until the first developer or any other developer completes its modification and then releases the object. You can also divide this list of reconciliation to eliminate the overlap among the various objects. So this is a powerful tool which is now provided with Developer Studio and is going to reduce the upgrade time drastically. Along with the three-way reconciliation, this is a new feature, association. It is a workflow object that has been introduced along with BMC Remedy 9 platform. So the association is a new workflow object, and this workflow object has related entries between the forms, and it can be used to describe the data model. So before this release, two forms were associated by configuring the individual workflows in BMC Remedy Developer Studio. For example, if you want to archive the audit form entries when any form is archived, you have to manually create a workflow to archive the audit form along with that form. With the association being in place and Remedy 9 release, it now provides a workflow object association which describes the relationship between the entries of AR system forms. You can build the relationships, and the relationships enable you to support referential integrity, cascaded deletes, and archiving related entries. So the association describes the relation between entries in two or more forms, and it could be a cardinality option provided where you can select one-to-one, one-to-many, or many-to-many. Say for example, it is one-to-many relationship, then the association between two forms is defined by specifying one form as primary and the another form as secondary. Whereas if it is a many-to-many relationship, there are no primary and secondary forms. We will see this direct association and indirect association types available in the AR system platform with our example in the next slide. Say for example, it is a HPD help desk form. Your incident ticket form is a primary form, and then there is an association which defines the dependency of the ITSM main form with the child forms, and it implements the recursive archives. For example, this incident form has multiple entries for the HPD workload. So it can be a one-to-many relationship where you can relate the HPD help desk form with the HPD workload form as an indirect relationship. there can be a direct relationships with the HPD help desk form, such as the intermediate form. So the HPD incident interface create acts as a direct association, and HPD work log acts as an indirect association. So in many-to-many relationship with the direct association, as you could see, the association can be built with a qualification, and then you can have indirect association or direct association further to the forms. And with the help desk, it provides an indirect association as many-to-many relationships. So with this example, let us proceed further and understand what are the key enhancements that have been performed for the mid-tier. So with the mid-tier, earlier there were challenges for monitoring the parameters such as the bandwidth for the mid-tier, the latency, the page load time, the last transaction times. So with the release of Remedy 9, the bandwidth, which indicates the network bandwidth usage in kilobytes per second, is used to communicate between the browser and the mid-tier, can now be monitored. Or the network time, which indicates the network latency time for the request, it can be measured with milliseconds, and those logs, those reports can be fetched easily, and the performance analysis can be performed post this reporting. Clustering supported for mid-tier now. So with this release, the clustering option is supported with the mid-tier now, where the earlier mid-tiers were used in a cluster, were used in a HA environment. With the mid-tier of Remedy 9, it supports the cluster environment. So at any given point in time, if the server is not available through the cluster, the request will be routed to the other mid-tier which is available, and the data will be processed without any latency. So this brings a key value to the mid-tier performance and user experience, where the clustering is supported for mid-tier. And further, the load balancer will be perform the activity for the mid-tiers involved. So also the multi-tenancy in the mid-tier is been introduced, and the multi-tenancy in the mid-tier now aids you with the great advantage of onboarding multiple tenants through the user console. So with Remedy 9, you can there are tenancy settings which are available, where you can onboard and you can offboard the tenants by using the configuration available in the mid-tiers. We'll see that as we proceed to our next slide, and the skins administration for users and the paging mechanism will be explained more. So the mid-tier enhancements include the configuration settings that are available for the mid-tier, where there are tenant settings and tenant onboarding process which needs to be followed for onboarding a tenant. With a few steps, you can onboard a tenant for your ITSM environment by using the mid-tier configurations. Once the tenants are onboarded, it will be displayed. In this example, we have onboarded 4 tenants, and with a synchronized cache, they are available with the mid-tier. Let's talk more about the full text high availability feature, which is now available with Remedy 9. So in the earlier releases, the FTS was a challenge in a HA environment, where the indexing was an issue for a server group environment. So with the Remedy 9, high availability for FTS has been introduced. So the FTS can be configured so that the search requests are completed even when a server in the group becomes unavailable. For example, with the FTS HA model, every server with the valid FTS server group operations, ranking and indexing has its own copy of indexes. So the searcher server sends the search request to the indexer server, and during the failover of an indexer server, a search request is routed to the highest ranking available indexer to complete the search request. So this is the business value, where the FTS is now 3 times the performance improvement is available with the ITSM search For example, if you are an organization where the incident data is huge, for example, it could be a telecom domain, and the search results are degrading the performance. But with the FTS, now you can see 3 times improvement in the performance for the search results. And it also gives a bandwidth of 50% CPU for other runtime operations when the indexer is under load. Few of the details for the FTS are in the earlier releases it was using a Lucene 2.9, and now it has been upgraded to 4.9 along with the Apache Tika to 1.6, and it uses the split monolithic index files for the schema specific index files. Let's proceed to the archiving feature, where the archiving console is what is provided with Remedy 9, and the archiving console is introduced where the ITSM out of the box forms are archived, and and they can be scheduled, or it can be enabled or disabled by using a user interface. So with Remedy 9, the archiving console includes the ITSM forms such as incident, problem, change management, asset management for the archiving. If you have your archive forms in your earlier releases, you might see that with the upgrade to 9, there are 2 forms for archiving, where the old version form can be used for historical data, and the new archive form can be used for the future data, where it can be managed through the archiving console and the features that it provides for continuous archiving or scheduled archiving. Also, the retention policy that is available, it provides a way to remove the obsolete records from your production database by using a regular, a controlled and a predictable process for archiving. Say for example, you have an organization policy to maintain the data of 3 years, and then a 7 years policy where you are taking a cold backup of the data. You can do these operations by using the archiving managing console within Remedy 9. So with this, Remedy 9 is more smart. It's beautiful and powerful service management, which is empowering and giving you a intuitive self-service experience with insightful analytics. And Service Desk is now in your pocket with the mobile and intuitive features available within this platform. We are open for the question and answer session with our expert panelists along with me, and we'll be discussing the questions that are being available during the session and additional questions during the process. So over to you, Sunil. So I think we have a good question over here. More of the audience seem to be curious for the smart reporting. So I guess Mahesh, you might take up this one. It's related to the storyboard feature. Can you explain it more in detail how the storyboard feature works in the console?
The storyboard feature will provide you the presentation-oriented user interface in app itself. So most of the time, whenever you have to present the IT dashboard or the overall of incident management progress or problem management progress, we need to take all the snapshots of the reports and what are the currently going on the download it from the system in a snapshot and prepare the documentation or prepare the PPT and then present it to the CEO or CTO. But the in-app, a good feature provided by Smart Reporting, in-app they have provided a storyboard feature where we can create your own PPTs or presentation in application itself by dragging the reports or videos or adding text into that, and you can present it to the bigger audience on a click.
Thanks, Mahesh. Sunil, I think you could take up this one. It is related to the enhancement, and the question is related to is there a change in the access restriction going ahead with Remedy 9? So I think you could take up this one.
Yeah, thanks, Vishal. So basically, in earlier releases, we found that a non-administrator user could also create an administrative user. Actually, from this release, BMC has prohibited that feature, like only for example, if I have administration rights, then only I can create administrator user. Or for example, if I have only incident management permissions, then basically I can create only a user with that permission. So this restriction is basically enforced from this release. So that is again, I would say, a good feature that has been provided.
Thank you, Sunil. I think I'll take up this one. It is related to the service with the Remedy 9 and how it is related to the associated services. So that's an interesting one. The server group with the Remedy 9, it now manages when the any associated or companion services become active, or they have to perform certain tasks when they are suspended. So these services are tracked, and there can be a failover independently for the AR system. So you can now queue the server threads based on the configurations. There is also queues for archiving or for escalation pools, or for escalation additional pools can be built up. So before this release, each queue had its own dedicated method. When the jobs are now triggered, they were automatically put in the appropriate queue to make sure that it was serialized and other jobs in the same queue are being worked upon. With the Remedy 9 AR system server, it uses the threads from a thread pool. So this gives an advantage where a scheduled request can be received by the first available thread, and after the request is processed, the thread returns to the pool and it becomes available for another request. So it is improving the performance drastically, and the fast and the list and the private queues, they are not using the threads from the thread pools now.
Okay, so there's one more question, like, is it possible to upgrade from ARS 7604 to Remedy 9? So basically, we have been talking about this since a long time. Like it is quite easy to upgrade any system that is on 7604 and on after versions like 8.0 and 8.1 to upgrade it to Remedy 9. So yes, it is very much possible to upgrade a system from 7604 to Remedy 9. Vishal.
I think this one, I'll pick it up, Sunil. It is from Ratish, and the question is there any provision to set up or to limit the entries for the reports by using any configurations? So yes, Ratish, you can now add the maximum entries for the file reports by using the parameters like plugin server config XML, and you can limit the number of entries in the AR system reports. So this provision is now available for the reporting, where you can limit the maximum number of entries for the report file. Okay, so another question is from Saurabh Malvia, and it is about the REST API. Does it support a two-way communication, or it's only from the Remedy to the external app? So Saurabh, with the Remedy 9 platform, it is a bidirectional integration, and it supports either ways for the integration. For testing purposes, you may want to use the Chrome supported apps, which is a Postman, or any other apps for the testing purposes, where you will see the JSON, the RAW, and the XML formats available. So with the REST APIs, we have overcome the limit of having the XSDs and the XMLs. So this is a stateless protocol that we are using, method that we are using, and it supports the bidirectional integration. So there are a few questions. I think it is from Rajiv, and it is related to the licensing part of Remedy 9. And the question is about how do we manage the licenses if we are on the version which is lower than 7.x. So Sunil, would you like to pick it up?
Yeah, thanks, Vishal. So basically, regarding the licenses, there is no any change BMC has done in the licensing model. So as long as you are on a 7.1 and higher version, so you can use the same license by purging it to the Remedy 9. Yeah, Vishal.
Okay, thanks, Sunil. A team is just walking through the questions list available, and in the given time we shall try to address. I think I'll pick up. Did we answer this one from Kuldeep?
Yeah.
Okay. So there is one more question from Ganesh. It is talking about what are the additional Developer Studio enhancements that have been made. So we were able to cover a few of them, Ganesh, in this session. There are additional enhancements along with the Developer Studio, such as restricting the Developer Studio working environment. For example, the Developer Studio now has a development mode configuration settings, which will enable you to use the mode, whether it is a base development or the best practice mode, or both the modes where the Developer Studio can be used. So you can now install AR system. You can choose to work in the best practice or the best development, or either or both modes for as far as the configuration settings and the features enhancements are concerned. So while we are receiving the questions, there are a huge list of questions that are available, and we shall try to address them, or we will have a follow-up response being given post this session by using the hashtag enhancement in Remedy 9. You can submit a post, and we'll try to address it through the passive mode of response post this session. With this, we'll get to the closure note. Thank you everyone for your time and for this session, and hope to see you in our follow-up webinar series where we will be covering the ITSM enhancements for Remedy 9. Thank you all.